Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Vinland Saga Season 2 episode number 14 reaction. Okay, the previous episode, Sverkel falls a little bit sick. He fell in the while trying to do stuff in his farm. He fell down, and after that we get to see Arnheid coming and taking care of him, and Snake, Thorfinn, Einar, Arnheid, and Sverkel. They were like having like a meal, like Arnheid is cooking and everything. Everything seemed very peaceful, nice, and everyone was laughing and everything. That's how the whole thing started. Later on, we get to see a runaway slave is out there, he is like he killed his master, I think. Yeah. And we like Snake told everyone to keep an eye, and yeah, we come in contact with him later on. It's found out that he is Arnheid's husband. I think his name is Gardar or something like that. And Arnheid recognized him immediately, and he was on the horse. He stopped and he called out to Arnheid. So that's where it ended. Let's see how this goes now. Now, this will be it'll be interesting to see what he's going to do here, because yeah, like what now? Like I don't think Arnheid, like obviously he'll tell Arnheid to come with him or something, but I don't know. I feel like Arnheid probably won't really, and even if Arnheid accepts, like I'm pretty sure Snake won't let her go, because she's supposed to be like on the master's slave and all that stuff. Let's see what happens. Episode number 14, let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. All right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. Now what? Freedom. Okay, here we go. Yeah, he was quite close. Mm. Did she think that he died or something? That's why she's so surprised? Yeah. Reality. Oh, it's a child. Oh no, what happened to the child? Oh no. Yeah. Yep, he'll be like, come with me. Oh no. Oh, here we go. I knew it. Snake was definitely going to stop them. Oh god. Oh yeah, they're here. Oh my god! Yo! Oh, okay, he killed a horse. I was like, what the? Oh, damn. Yeah. Oh. And Badger got hurt over, I think, one of his arms. Nope. Oh, he. Oh, God. Alright, calm down. Yeah, what are you doing? Oh, God. But in no way. Exactly. That's the point. And he. Yeah, like Snake. If Snake realizes he's doing trying to do this, he's going to lop his head off immediately. Damn. Damn. Whoa, his swings are strong. Yeah. Damn, look at the force at which he is swinging his sword. Good God. Uh, Probably not. Damn. Okay. Oh! Oh, was that the blunt side? That was the blunt side. Blunt side of the sword. Damn. Alright. Alright, so he got captured again. Good. Good God. Like, oh, oh my God. Good God. Oh. And, oh. Okay, I don't think they can take a decision unless and until Kettle comes back. Like, you cannot blame Snake, he just did his duty. Yeah, that as well. He hmm. Oh boy. Wait, just a minute. He said something about they had a kid. Where's the kid? What happened to him? Damn, what the? Oh boy. Ooh. Yeah, yeah. Oh, so sad, but like there's a lot of things like you have to think about. Like even if they're able to escape, then what? Son, there. Oh my god. Like Thorfinn is also conflicted in this situation. Like he just said that he won't fight. Wait, what? What? What is that? Some kind of disease? Okay. Oh, Spherical. I'm guessing Spherical is, yeah, listening. Okay, yeah. This should be like, there's so many questions. Like, for example, Garda doesn't know where their son is. Why? Like, it seemed he also didn't know, like, where his wife was taken. So, all these questions will probably be answered here. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Marsh containing iron. Oh. Hmm. Okay. Ooh. Oh no. Yeah, but they wanted more for a better life. Hmm. For better life, I guess. For the child. Oh. Oh, okay, okay. All right. That's also another. All right. But reality. This is. Hmm. What? Oh no! It must be. Oh no! It was the Vikings. It was the Vikings. Oh god. Oh, so that's why they got separated. They did not know. Yeah. So Gada did not know that's why where she was taken away. What about the child? Oh my god. What the hell? Hmm. Child? Wait, is she? Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Ugh. Oh my god, what the hell? Yeah, well, yeah, that's what Sparkle does. Was she trying to go and save him herself or something? Uh, hmm. Beautiful. Hmm. Oh, who was it? It was Get. It was a work of mine. Oh, out the storm. True. Hmm. Hmm. I feel like Thorfinn and Einar will probably, like, Einar is definitely going to, like, okay, let's see. Oh boy. Hmm, that's it. Oh wow. Alright, here in this episode, we get to know the whole story of Arnheid and Gadar, and a little bit more. We also get to know about a little bit of background for Kettle as well. And yeah, all right. So let's see. In the beginning of this episode, obviously we resume from where Gadar came on the horseback. Arnheid was there, and he's like, "Oh, there you are, Arnheid." Like, "Oh, you look a little bit worse for wear, but you're as beautiful as ever. Come on. What happened to Hjalti? I think that's how it's pronounced. Yeah. Come on, let's go home." And this is the thing. I felt so weird listening to him talk over here because, first of all, it seems he's actually gone crazy a little bit, which you can see later on. What's her name? Arnheid also, like, comments on that he looked different. He looked completely, like, like a different person, crazy. He had to go through a lot of things. I can understand that's why he's like this now, because he asks, "How is Yalti?" Like, I don't know, like that statement in itself makes me feel as if he's like lost it completely. You know, the fact that he didn't even think that my wife is here, so the son who was with her, or okay, you know what? Maybe he thought that Hjalti is somewhere inside. Yeah, that might be because I was the whole thing that I felt the most unnatural while he was talking is the fact that even after seeing Arnheid in this situation, he was like, "Oh, like, how is Hjalti doing?" Like, I don't know. I feel like, didn't he even think of the possibility that something bad must have happened? Like, I feel like the first thing someone would say in this type of situation is like, "Where is Hjalti? Is he okay?" You know. But the he says, like, "Is he, like, I don't know, like." He assumed that he's going doing fine. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like that conversation was a little bit unusual, as if he just assumed that everything is okay. Like, his wife is just here. Now let's go together back. Everything will be fine. You know, like, as if that was the normal here. This situation, how unnatural is it? It seemed as if that's not even registering in his head how unnatural this situation is. He's on a horseback, killed so many people, on his way to somewhere, sees his wife like this, and the first thing he says, like, "Oh, how are you? You look a little bit, like." a little bit haggard, but you're fine. How is my son doing? Let's go home, three of us together. That's what he says. Like, that in itself feels so much unnatural. The words that he said here, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like how he reacted in that situation was so unusual and kind of shows how he has actually kind of lost it. And yeah, like he's not thinking properly. Arnheid's reaction was much more appropriate. How Arnheid reacted was like she suddenly saw Gada like this. How she reacted was first of all surprise and then horror. I feel like that's how someone should react if they suddenly see one of your husband or your wife like this in this situation. While he was Gardar was so casual, he was like, "Oh, hello there. You look fine. Let's go home." That calmness in itself was kind of unnatural. And I feel like Arnheit said, the whole situation, like it messed with his head so much that he's like lost what is what is normal and what is abnormal. That sensation, he's completely lost it. He's just like, you know so yeah, like that's how I see this situation. Anyways, like, but obviously it's the fact is that he's obviously happy seeing Arnheit here after trying to find us for so long. He also said that, oh, like he was just over here like a few hours on horseback. If I knew this, it would have been so much more easier, something like that, he says. Anyways, so yeah, he comes and he puts out his hand, and immediately, obviously, Snake comes out. And Snake is like, oh, take Arnheid behind us, and I'll take care of this guy. And he comes out with his sword, and yeah, obviously Gadar is not happy about that. When he tries to just forcefully take Arnheid with him, Snakes cuts off his horse. His horse just dies. Obviously, he falls down. We get to see Badger and Fox also coming from the distance. Everyone kind of surrounded him, and seeing all of this, Gadar realized the things won't be easy. Obviously, Arnheid is very concerned. Obviously, for her husband. Obviously, she's screaming, telling them to stop. However, yeah, Snake is not listening, and you can see Einar is like, oh no, we need to help her. Now, here's the thing. What he's trying to do is obviously something that I can see him doing, because it's Einar we are talking about. He's very kind and helpful. He always thinks of other people. But in this situation, in no way is it possible to to help Gadar here, because how even if he tries to go and aid them in their escape, it's not possible. First of all, Snake is here, and even if they somehow are able to stop Snake from getting to them, and they are able to run away, I'm pretty sure everyone later on was trying to search for them. And I don't know how they live a life of just running away, and maybe if they're able to completely leave this place, leave this this whole place, this continent, just leave this continent, maybe then they'll be safe. But will they even be able to do that? I don't know, there's so much risk in the whole thing. And if they somehow find them out, then obviously they're going to capture them, and probably, I don't know, what will happen to them. They'll be punished. But yeah, in this situation, in no way are they doing anything. And that's what Thorfinn tells Einar. Einar, he stops Einar, and he's like, stop, Thorfinn, sorry, stop, Einar. What are you even going to do after going there? And another point, Thorfinn says, what will you do? Will you kill a man? You know, whether it's a guest or anyone else, can you use this axe to kill a man? There you go. That's also another point. So yeah, in no way are they doing anything in this situation here. And Snake says that, yeah, you know what? Good decision, Thorfinn. And I'll take care of him. And you can see, obviously, Gadar is strong. But the thing is, Snake is way more, I guess you could say, experienced. Snake has technique. Gadar is strong, maybe he's way stronger than Snake, but Snake has technique. He knows what to do in certain situations. And I'm pretty sure Gadar has like traveled a long distance. He's been sleeping in the forest, you know, like just he's tired. He's so much tired, and obviously probably hungry as well. So in no way was Gadar defeating Snake, who is well rested. And even if their power were like on par with each other, in this situation definitely Snake was way more stronger, because he was well fed, he was well rested, and you know, like he was not hurt. You know, he had a good sword with him. Like everything was like on his side. So automatically, you know, like Snake is going to just like, you know, stop him. So we see Gadar like swing his sword. He is strong. That's like that's the truth. I'm pretty sure he's more stronger than Snake. You know, you can see like he's swinging his sword. The force that he's using to swing the sword is like crazy. But you know, like I said, it doesn't matter. Snake has technique. He immediately used his blunt side of the sword to just knock him out. Like, you know, one like, you know, like whack in the solar plexus, and that's it. You know, he falls down and like, you know, goes unconscious. And yeah, he's like, there you go, like, you know, we are able to restrain him. Now we'll take care of him, tie him up. So that's it. That was it. And even if Einar and Thorfinn decided to help aid them in their escape, I don't think anything would have changed, because Snake had his sword with him, and Einar only had his axe. So yeah, in no way was that happening. So in this situation, like this was the only outcome, that yeah, Gadar would be captured by the end of it. Now Einar tries to kind of talk to Snake. Einar is like, can't you just let him off the hook? Now another thing we have to think about here is that Snake's soldiers, Snake's men, you know, one of them died in his hand. So you can see that Snake is also not happy about the situation. He also has a grudge on him. So the first thing he says is that impossible. You know, I cannot let him off the hook. Number one reason, he is the reason why one of my men got killed. And then obviously all the other reasons is that he, like, you know, like he was trying to take Arnheid away, who was like Master's favorite. You know, like, and like, you know, these are all the reasons. And he's trying to attack the Master. You know, he showed hostility towards Kettle. So all those reasons are why he cannot let him, you know, go. And he tells Arnheid that forget him, he's not your husband, he's not anyone, he's just a runaway slave from here onwards. Just forget him, stay here peacefully. And yeah, takes him, like, you know, restrains him and takes him with them to somewhere else. I'm guessing he's probably going to keep him in prison somewhere. There you go. And yeah, obviously Arnheid is heartbroken. She's like crying, and Einar is just doesn't know what to do. Thorfinn is conflicted. Like, everything is a mess. Yeah, that was the first part. Next we get to see Einar sitting, and there's like a storm coming, and you can see Arnheid is, like, you know, making food for Sverkel and those two. And Einar gets so pissed off, he's like, he just gets up and he's like, he's going to say something, but Arnheid stops him from, like, you know, like at from the beginning, and says like, take a seat, just, you know, forget about that, and I'll also try to forget about it. I'll let the storm pass away and just stay here. Let's wait for the storm to pass. And now Einar, obviously you can see Einar is an emotional man, you know, like he definitely kind of like related Arnheid's situation with his own situation of him losing his family. Like he definitely at that moment he did not know what happened to Arnheid, but I'm pretty sure he guessed that something that something that happened to Einar must have happened to Arnheid as well. That is why she and her husband is separated, and they have been separately sold as slaves. So something like Einar's must have happened. Maybe someone came and pillaged their village, and obviously took the women and sold them off. That definitely must have happened, and that is what he was thinking. So he can sympathize with her, even though he didn't know at that point what she went through. He could only guess, and seeing that situation, seeing that Arnheid had someone who she can go to, he wanted to help. And you can, if you remember, obviously you can see in the previous episode, from the few previous episodes, we've been continuously seeing Einar talking about how he's going to stay here because Arnheid doesn't really have anywhere to go. The master's not going to let her go, so to keep an eye on her, Einar would stay here even after becoming a free man. He has been saying that always. So this is something that is something that's going to benefit Arnheid, because she has her husband, she can go somewhere, and that's why Einar saw that, oh, this could actually genuinely help Arnheid. So that's why he wanted to help her. But now obviously he's imprisoned and he doesn't know what to do, because yeah, it's a messy situation. Like Arnheid herself doesn't know what to do. She's also conflicted. She's thinking of letting the storm pass by and just wait for it. And we can see Einar tries to tell and give Arnheid some options. He's like, oh, let's go, we can take care of Snake, and even if we have to fight Snake and his men, it's better than doing nothing, than just sitting here. And yeah, these type of things he's saying. He's kind of telling Arnheid that, yeah, whatever you'll do, we can help. You love your husband, so let's go. And yeah, like I said, I feel like Einar is so much more passionate about this whole thing, because if you think about it, Einar actually is alone. I'm not talking about Thorfinn. Thorfinn is there with him. Thorfinn is his friend. But by alone I mean any family, family, any blood related relative. He has no one left. So for him, family is something that he has lost. And seeing how Arnheid has a family who's still alive, he wants them to them to get together and get out of this situation. She has somewhere to go back to, unlike Einar. So he wants to help in that situation, and that's why he's so much more passionate about this. Okay, so he says, I'll draw the guards to me. And this part I don't understand. This statement, I actually don't understand what she said here. She says I lost my son because of pots. Unabe. Okay, I don't understand this, but what does she mean? At first I was like, what is this? Is this some kind of disease or something? Pots? But no, it's she's talking about, she talks about later on how she lost her son, the Vikings, they took him. But what does pots mean? Onabe. I don't know. I did not understand this statement, what she tried to say here. Anyways, so she says let me tell you my story. What happened? And you can see Sverkel is kind of listening. So yeah, the flashback begins. She talks about how she lived in Sweden, where she had a good life. It was an arranged marriage, but Gardar was a very nice man. He loved her and his child as well. And yeah, they were a very nice, a small but a very happy family living. in a small little village. And later on, a marsh near the village were found where there was iron. And turns out a few people came in, and one of Garda's friend came and said that there might be conflict in the future. So what should they do? Should they join the conflict and fight for the iron, or should they leave it? And yeah, like obviously if they fight and win, they'll be getting that, and their village will be way more prosperous. If not, then yeah, like, but either way, everyone had like a whole meeting, and the decision was, yeah, they'll go fight. Now obviously all the women were shocked hearing this, as she says, and she even talked to Garda. She said, tried to make him reconsider. And she said that, like, like, aren't we happy with what we have? This is so interesting because this is the same thing that Sverkel was talking about a few episodes ago about wealth in excess. How like wealth is not happiness. Yeah, obviously wealth brings happiness, but wealth in excess is not happiness. It's just a liability. It's just a headache. Just like how Kettle has so much wealth that he's using the same wealth to hire people to keep an eye on that wealth. Every day losing sleep. Just thinking of the possibility of people robbing him, or anything else. Like, his excessive wealth is a source of problem. And it doesn't make anyone happy. Like, we fantasize, we think about, like, oh, what's going to happen if we have so much money that we cannot even, like, just count it. It'll be like so much. We just fantasize of that thing. But at the end of the day, all that we need is enough money to live our life, and that's it. Money or wealth in excess doesn't bring happiness. It becomes a liability by the end of it. So that is the thing. And you can see here that, like, this is a similar situation where Arnheid said that, aren't we happy with what we have? Like why do we need that? There's no point. We're happy with what we have. Like, we're living a very good life. But Garda says something here interesting, which is a point that I have to say that I kind of agree with him. He says that we do need it, and then he says, oh my god, his name's Yingve of the West is an ambitious man. And he says that if his clan acquires the iron, it'll upset the balance of power in the area. Okay, this reason, I feel like, okay, this is a valid enough reason. Like, he's not doing it for excess. Like, yeah, obviously he's definitely, if he gets enough money, obviously it'll be helpful for their child, for themselves. But that's not the only reason. He's talking about how some other person, Yingwei, if he gets his hand on the iron, it's going to tip the balance, and that might be a problem later on, which, like, they might start being, like, Yingwei might start oppressing them, and it might actually bring more trouble in the future. So this is one reason I feel like I can kind of see why he decided to go and get the iron for themselves. This is one reason I can be like, all right, you know what? At least he's not just doing this for the money. There is, like, an actual reason why he's trying to do it to keep the balance, like, because I can envision it. If as he says, if Yingwei got his hands on the iron, obviously he'll become way more wealthier and get way more power. So who knows? He might actually start trying to do something to them, try to oppress them, and that will bring more conflict in. So I can see that being a valid reason. And also, obviously, as he says, that our village will also become wealthy, which is also something good that is going to happen, and their lifestyle will become better. And yeah, so you know what? At least he wasn't really doing it for money alone. If he was doing this for money alone, I would say that no, like, that's very wrong. Like Arnheid said, they had everything. There's no need. But he's not doing it for the money alone. There's an actual reason for him and the other villagers trying to do it. So, you know what? I guess that kind of, like, it was inevitable that they had to go and fight for it. So I cannot really blame him and say that, oh, he did it for the money, and if he didn't do it, everything would have been fine. I cannot really say that here at this situation because they genuinely had another reason. Either way, we see that's like scene where his child is like very happy, playing with him, and Arnheid is very concerned about the situation, what is going to happen. Anyways, later on they talk about she continues the story. She says they left, and a lot of time went past, and yeah, a few boats came back, and they were like, oh, they're back. But as they go to the dock, they see the Vikings are there. Now this is one thing I guess that's how they did back in those days. And one thing I'm so surprised is that they actually left all the women and children alone. Not a single person was there to protect them. That's something that I felt was so unusual. Like everyone left. Like what? Like what about bandits? Like didn't they think that something like there must be someone there to protect them? I don't know. But like I said, maybe back in those days, that's how it went. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, the Viking games came, and I'm guessing these are the Vikings. Yeah, they're the Vikings. They came in, and yeah, they just did what they do. Just burn the whole village down, loot everything, took the women away with them, sold them away, and yeah, she says that his son, she lost him. And we see the scene where there's like this one Viking who got her son and just dragged him away. Now here's the thing: we don't know what exactly happened here. They show that the kid was dragged away. I'm guessing they sold him away somewhere or something. I don't know. So maybe there is a chance of him being alive. But even if he's alive, I doubt he's ever going to meet his parents again. He probably won't even know who they are, and yeah. So that is it. Yeah, she's saying that like that was her story, and she says when I met Gada today, I was afraid of him. Something must have happened to him. He must have gone through so much things that he looked like this today. And then she says but this time I'm going to protect my child from the men's storms. And here is where we realize that she's pregnant, and she says I'm pregnant with Kettle's child. And well, yeah, what can I say? And she's like, I need to stay back, in this storm, because I at least need to protect him or her. I won't let it go like it went, back when all of this happened. So that's it. And now obviously Einar and Thorfinn, they cannot really say anything in this situation. Einar realized why she's not trying to why she's trying to be trying to keep calm and sit down and let the storm pass because of her child and her unborn child. That's that she knows is there. And she that is why she's just keeping it to herself. And at this situation, like I said, Einar doesn't really have anything else to say. This was her decision. And even though Einar obviously he must have wanted to say more, say try to say that, oh no, still let's go, I'm sure he wanted that. But after listening to the story, after listening what Arnheid wants and how it went, in no way can he say something in that situation. So he and Thorfinn probably left. But this is the thing: Sverkel was listening to everything, and Sverkel, being the elder in this situation, he has way more experience, and he has way more things to share to Arnheid that can actually make her change her mind. So later on, when we get to see that Arnheid, after that, tries to go out, Sverkel is like, oh, when are you going to let the storm pass? Where are you going? And you can see that she's like, I'm just going to go and tend to his wounds. That's all that I'm going to do. Like I cannot, even if I've made my decision, I cannot let him be like that. I'm still concerned. And you can see her hand is like shaking and everything. And here Sverkel is like, let me tell you my story. And here he starts like his story. He says that I'm going to read this section because this section actually confused me a little bit. It was more than 20 years ago. Okay. My son Kettle and a beautiful girl from our village were in love back then. Okay. Alright. The final part of this backstory, I did not understand what happened. That's why I'm reading this part again. But one day a man from a nearby village named Ebbe, who'd been growing his power, fell in love with her. Okay. And I was forced to make a painful decision. Okay, Kettle was prepared to fight to protect her. But at that time, we were still weak. Many were afraid of Ebbe. They thought we'd be wiped out if we defied him. Okay, so we made the decision to submit. Yeah, you can see the girl is crying and everything when they made the decision. Okay, Northmen would be disgusted to hear that. I offered up a young woman to protect myself. Okay, and then there was the day of the wedding. And yet, on the day of her wedding, okay, this part, I'm actually confused what happened here. Let's see. First of all, Ebbe gets shot by an arrow. Okay, he gets shot, he falls down in front of, like his wife, like the girl. Okay, it was a work of a man who envied and resented Ebbe's wealth. Okay, so this is like a complete third party who came in. For a moment, I was like, was this Kettle? But no, this wasn't Kettle. It was a complete third party. Someone else who envied Ebbe's wealth, and the girl just got involved in the crossfire and died alongside Ebbe. That's what happened, I guess. Okay, it was a work of a man who envied and resented Ebbe's wealth. Okay, and then after the destruction, by the time I heard the news and rushed there, everything had burned to ashes. Okay, so the person we see here on standing there with his horse, I think this is Kettle, isn't it? Yeah, this is Kettle. Kettle comes here and sees her dead body, and that's it. It's over. So there you go. So she also she just got caught in the crossfire of some other man's revenge. Oh my god. And yeah, Arnheid said that, why does this happen every time? And this is a very, very good thing that Sverkel says. Sverkel says that you're right, you can't let the storm pass and just stay here inside. However, even if you wait out the storm, it leaves scars behind. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what he's saying, and which kind of gave Arnheid the resolve to go and do her thing, make a decision. And Arnheid said, "I'll be back soon." And in the storm, like in the wind, she leaves, and you can see Sverkel says, like, "I'm sorry that I cannot really help you other than just give you these words." Yeah, and she leaves. She leaves the house in the storm, walking towards the direction where probably her husband is kept. And that's where it ended. So that was this episode. Yeah, so I was not expecting suddenly something like this happening. Like, I was expecting, oh, now Canute, the whole thing with Canute is going to happen, like the war and everything. But I guess this is all happening while all those shenanigans is happening over there. You know, like the whole Olmar shenanigan, where he just made like a complete fool of himself, and then Thorgil just went on a rampage. I think this is happening while over there that is happening. It's like at the same time it's happening or something like that, I'm guessing, you know. And that's what's going on, because after the whole shenanigan that happened there, they're actually coming back. So either like this is happening while they're coming back, or this is all happening when like the whole Olmar situation is going down over there. Either of it, but it's kind of going on at the same time, I'm guessing. So let's see how this ends actually. Like, yeah, and after Kettle comes back, this will be the last thing that they need to be concerned about, because yeah, Canute is coming. You know, like this will be this situation will be the last thing that will be of their concern. Like Canute is just there coming, and if like he's just like it'll take a few more days for him to just come and try to get everything from his farm. So I don't know where this is going towards. You know, like this situation has popped up now, while the whole Canute situation is also going on. And yeah, everything's going to be a complete disaster. Now I do wonder, like you can see that Arnheid is going towards, you know, like going towards Gardar. So I do wonder if Einar and Thorfinn is going to join her to help her out or something, because I am like 100% sure that Einar is probably like he's probably awake, like, you know, just awake, thinking what to do in this situation. And he might try to actually go there alone. Like I you know what, I feel like that might be like a possibility. Like Arnheid told Einar that, yeah, I'm just going to wait the storm. So even after saying that, I feel like there's like a 80% chance that Einar actually will be like, you know what, if she's not going, I'm going to go and see what I can do. And he might actually go, and when he's going to go, obviously Thorfinn's going to follow him. So that's what's going to happen. I feel like there's a possibility of that happening. And now that Arnheid has decided to go and not wait the storm, like who knows, maybe they'll meet on the way, and then all of them will go and try to do something. Like I don't know what they can even do in this situation. Like what can they do? Like I'm pretty sure Snake is guarding them. So I don't know what's going to happen. How are they going to do anything? And even if they're able to somehow like trick Snake and go in and meet with Gardar, then what? Then what do we do? But anyways, next episode will probably give us our answers. And yeah, that was this episode. So that's the thing, you know, like I was thinking, like, you know, the whole thing with the marsh, the iron situation, I was thinking, like, again, like if this was actually him doing it only for the money, I probably would have been like, you see, it was not worth it, you know, like going for that excess money is not worth it if you have to just like look at all that happened after that. But I cannot really say anything in that situation, because it was not because of the money that he went there, but the village itself was concerned about the fact that some other person, if they got their hands on the iron, it might make a situation even more troublesome. You know, it might bring more conflict in. They'll get, like, you know, the Pascal will tip, and that person will get more power, and they might try to oppress them. So that was the situation. So I feel like they needed to do something in that situation, and that's why they decided to go there. So I cannot really say and blame them and be like, oh, like they just went there for the extra money. I cannot say that, you know, like they had to do it, because otherwise that would have happened. The other guy would have gotten the iron. So yeah, like that's the whole situation, and it's just unfortunate circumstances, and just, I don't know. Like this is crazy how you see, like, you know, like how just Vikings just like, you know, the Vikings are like natural disasters. They just come anytime, anywhere, just do whatever the hell they want, and just leave. Like, you know what, I'm pretty sure even if the boys and the, you know, the men were in the village at that moment, if everyone was still present in the village, and even if still the Vikings came, the Vikings would have just destroyed their village. Like nothing would have changed. It was just a matter of time. That's why I'm calling them natural disasters. That they just come in, just do their thing, and just leave. Just wait, like making like the whole place into a waste. And that's so messed up. Like you don't know when and which situation are they going to come and strike. Like such a messy and such a weird situation. Just leaving in fear that, oh, the Vikings might come and just destroy our village. You know, if it's a small village, then yeah, then you're screwed. You know, the Vikings are definitely going to come and pay a visit anytime. That type of thing. Yeah, if you're a big village or a city, I guess the Vikings cannot do anything in that situation. But yeah, like it's just so messed up. And this is also like, you know, obviously another reason why Thorfinn said that I just want all of this to end. You know, like people fighting against each other, like, you know, wars, slavery. You know, like how can we get all of these to end? And that's what Thorfinn is looking towards. He's looking towards the actual problem, the source of the problem, trying to stop it somehow, thinking how he can stop it. And yeah, all, you know, that's what's happening. Anyways, that is it. That's my reaction to episode number episode number 14. Yeah, 14 of Vinland Saga season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Vinland Saga. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.